Here we are, back for another lavishing, if that's a word, conversation.
Riveting.
Riveting. Rivet gun.
Fuck, don't bring that shit.
How's your day today?
Pretty good. How was yours?
It was alright.
Yeah.
Going to Bago's rough, but
Yeah.
once you get out of there, it's not too bad.
You were in a sad mood. I was in an angry mood all day because nothing was working, and then you were just pissed to be there, I imagine. But
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna ask you about memory. So like, it was freaking me out because I was really thinking about this. I got high and started thinking, which is rare, but I was like, memory's weird because you can remember like core memories, but like you can't name like minute for minute what you did in the last like hour. Like when you woke up, you can't name like everything you did from the minute you woke up.
Mm-hmm.
So like some memories, our brain decides we don't need them, and some it decides we do, which is weird. What do you think that like means?
Well, I'm trying to...
Isn't that weird how like, then like the lady that's got dementia, hers brain isn't remembering like any of it. So there's like a wide spectrum on like people that could probably name every single thing they've done from when they woke up to when they got to like work or school or whatever they're doing. And then there's people like her who can't even remember like anything.
I watched a Huberman episode on memory, and he was talking about how you gotta have like specific things going on to remember. I think it's like a strong emotion tied into.
Oh, it's gotta be like a chemical thing in your brain that happens.
like you remember your most angry moments and your most sad moments.
That makes sense.
And then happiness. I mean, I guess you have to be real happy, but
yeah,
I think that memory is just bullshit, to be honest. Because even people with photographic memory, they get some details wrong if they're painting something or
it is weird, isn't
they
it?
fuck it up. Yeah.
Do you think we always had memory, or do you think this is something like we developed over like millions of generations?
See, I don't know, because I feel like dogs remember scents and stuff, but I feel like it's our prefrontal that makes us be able to project ourselves into the past and future, so I don't really know. Maybe they have prefrontal cortexes and it's just not as developed as ours is, or maybe it's
how does it develop?
That's what I'm saying. Mushrooms.
How do we develop really? Maybe at one point there was no memory, and it was just like the chemical stuff we would remember, like how this made us feel, not like what happened to made us feel it this way. And then we started having like those like memory flashback type things happen in our brain as we developed.
Monkey eat mushroom.
That's cool. You think dogs are conscious then? And if so, like, what makes our consciousness different from theirs? I'll tell you what I think. I think it might be like consciousness kind of fills like neural pathways that exist. So like dogs probably, I would say, have less like neuroplasticity and neural pathways that we have. We have like a bigger brain, stuff like that. And then they don't. So then their consciousness is only like a fraction of what ours is. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I've tried to think about this, and there's no way to tell, obviously, but I think that
you'd be God if you knew for sure.
It's probably more like a receiver kind of thing. You can receive a certain amount of consciousness.
Yeah, maybe your receiver's bigger based on your neural pathways or something.
Maybe based on how big your brain is, because we have like the big. Well, I guess we don't have the biggest brain on the planet.
Like blue whales or like orcas or something, dolphins, but their brain is big, and then they're also really smart. Too.
That's true. They might be more conscious than we are. They just don't have to manipulate their 3D space like we do.
Exactly. Holy fuck. I feel like I'm high. I haven't even smoked in.
You smoked meth, don't lie.
Yeah, you're right. A little bit of heroin. Nothing too major.
I was going to ask you about, what do you think about GTB like taking over? Is
GPT?
That what, taking over our like, what it is to be human? Like Ryan Long and Joe were talking about how, do you think that they're going to continue to do, like, be comedians and make music and stuff for the human experience? Or do you think they're going to wait till we die off and then they're going to take over and just do their own thing?
I don't think they can like replace, like they can imitate, but they can't like replace like a real human. Like if you put a computer up on a stage at like a comedy show and just had it like read jokes, it wouldn't even be close to the same. In fact, people probably would like it a lot less. What was the last thing you said though? I had something to go off on that.
That they're going to wait till we die off?
Yeah. What if we waited until something died off and then we became that?
I mean, we kind of did. I mean,
Are we
didn't.
AI then?
We didn't really wait. We killed off the Neanderthals and stuff by the looks of it.
Are we biological AI, you think?
I think technically,
Like we could be a seed planted from like a human civilization that's just traveling around the cosmos?
I think that most scientists and neuroscientists and stuff look at our brain as computers, which is where we fall into this weird category because they look at us as machines, and that's why they don't believe in consciousness and other types of shit.
That's true. You could say computer, but that's also like the closest thing they have as like
A reference.
a reference is like how it works.
You look like you have a black eye in this lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have seen the other guy. He's got black balls. He fucked me in the ass.
Whoa. Calm down. We don't need to talk
a little
about what
horny
we
on the
do on the
podcast.
weekends.
Get a little fruity on the weekends. No big deal.
You want to talk about lucid dreaming and stuff?
Yeah, did we miss? Was that one of the ones that got deleted?
Yeah.
Shit. How do you lucid dream?
I've never been I think it was because of the pills I was on as a kid. I never really dreamt very much, but recently I've started dreaming almost even if I just sleep for like 15, 30 minutes, I dream. And I thought it was only REM sleep that you started to dream. But I've never really looked into sleeping, and I haven't read Matthew Walker's book on why we sleep yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works, to be honest. I have no idea. But, like, do you ever lucid dream? Like, wake up and walk around and stuff?
My dreams feel so, like, real. Like, I can't distinguish dream from reality. So it's like, it just takes me on a ride, and then I just wake up because I'm so scared of whatever happens.
Yeah, I never really, like, I would say I don't go to, like, bed with the intention to lucid dream a lot. But I've heard what helps is if you lay on your back, like, facing up, like, straight up. And then my trick is you put your finger in your hand, and if you do this like while you're awake,
your butt? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes on the weekends. If you do this while you're awake, your finger doesn't go through your hand. But if you do this while you're in a lucid dream, it won't go like through your hand, but it'll like warp your hand and it'll bend out and stuff. And that's kind of how I notice. And the first couple times I did it, I was like, whoa! It's like a real weird feeling when you wake up. Like you don't wake up, but when you like realize you're in a dream. Then everything kind of changes. It doesn't change, but like you become conscious in the dream. You're not just like moving through everything, doing like what you would have done in like a subconscious level.
Because you decide what you're going to do?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you try to, but it takes a lot of willpower.
You think people can pick scenery and like manifest cars and shit?
It depends
if
how
they
like
get so good
how
at
good you are at it. Yeah, like I can't do that, but I can wake up and like notice it.
That you're dreaming.
But I'm like still stuck in the scenery that I like became conscious in.
See, every time I stopped sleeping on my back as a kid because every time I would go to sleep on my back, I'd have one of those dreams where you're falling out like you're just falling, and then I'd wake up. Yeah. So I'd be like, oh, I slept for 5 minutes. There's no point to sleep on my back.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I took Prozocin for a while, so that blocked up most of my dreams.
Dreams are weird.
Yeah.
It's weird that we even have that kind of experience.
It's weird. It's a whole nother universe.
I think so.
Dimension you tap into.
I think so because there's thoughts that you would never have.
Yeah, sleep also sucks. It takes up so much time. It's very inconvenient. Sleeping and eating.
That's true. But if you can use your dreams to lucid dream and if you can just extract some kind of lesson from your dreams, then I see why we would do something like that. Like you're dreaming about how to overcome a tiger or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just wish it wasn't so long.
That's true.
Yeah.
But is it really long though? Because we don't. Well, the dreams feel so long, but in reality,
like a good night's rest is like 9-8 hours.
Oh, okay. You were talking about sleeping.
Yeah, like it just takes a while. Same with like eating.
Yeah,
these are inefficient
we
things.
spend like half of our lives sleeping.
Yeah.
I never really liked sleep as a kid. That's why I would stay up as much as I could.
Yeah. You're 10 years old in awake time.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But dreams are weird because it makes time absolutely useless because
you just go right through it.
Exactly. Like this morning, I went to bed at 4:50, and I set my alarm for 5:15 or 4:40 because I wanted 30 more minutes of sleep, something like that. And so I went to sleep, and then it was like 2 or 3 hours that I lived in the dream, and then I woke up and I'm like, oh, thank God I woke up because I was gonna be late for work.
Fucking A. I think you told me about that this morning.
Yeah.
But
You ever have an experience like that?
where like I set my alarm, dream a little bit, and
Just
then
like
wake up.
that
Like
dream makes
they
time.
last longer than time actually lasts.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've had dreams that last longer than time lasts. Usually my dreams are like slow. Like I can make a couple decisions once I become lucid, but by then the alarm's like going off. So I feel like, I mean, if I could only make a couple decisions, but in reality it's been 6 hours, I'm making it like one decision every 2 hours. But to me it feels like instantaneous.
Mm.
You know.
You ever think about setting up a camera or something to watch yourself
Ooh.
sleep?
No, that's a little weird. I haven't done that, but it'd probably just be me rolling around a lot. It'd be weird if I started like floating, started speaking in tongues and stuff.
With a little
Yeah.
speaking Chinese or
Clung to
something.
the ceiling and my fucking head spins around and shit.
I've thought about it because I always looked at sleeping as like teleporting to the morning as a kid. It's like you hit the bed and then it's like you instantly
It's
wake
tomorrow.
your eyes up,
Yeah.
but it's been 8 hours.
We gotta get
It's
to
so weird.
tomorrow. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's time travel.
What do you think is going on in our brains besides
it's
DMT coming out of it?
Yeah, I think it's like power saving mode. Like you can only do like certain things, and it's on a very low frequency. Like I said, like I was making one decision every 2 hours. Like even my decision making is so incredibly delayed. You know?
It seems a little risky if we're in the forest or something.
Yeah, I know.
And there's predators.
It's a weird thing.
But everything sleeps. That's the thing.
We probably were also like real light sleepers back then. And we also probably like we'd go to sleep, and then like once we woke up for any reason, we probably just kept moving until we needed to sleep again.
Maybe like dolphins, they
Yeah.
shut off half
There was
their
no
brain.
like wake up at 9 a.m. type thing, or like go to bed at 10 or something like that. It was like go to bed when you can, wake up immediately, keep moving.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Eric Weinstein pod when he was talking about how he thinks that we should bend, or he's talking about the protractors and rulers? Do you remember that?
Yeah, on the X and Y.
Yeah, where he talks about instead of
dimension.
traveling such a long distance, you bring the distance closer together, and then you travel that distance and put it back together.
Yeah, it's like bending space time, right? That's what he was talking about. Yeah, fucking. That's really weird to think about.
And he was talking about
How would you ever do that?
I
But
don't know.
he was, I remember talking about how the fact that time starts at one point and it's infinite tells you that like there's a mathematical like error in the way we like think of general relativity and stuff. Like it's like a divide by zero, like undefined type of error, which is weird. I never really thought about that, because then that would mean it's like infinite, which makes me think it's either like a loop, like we expand until we like go into another big boom or big bang, and then like how do we know how many there's been, or if it's like the same every time, or it's just like always been infinite or something like that.
You think there's civilizations that can transcend the Big Bang? So you think it's continuously happening, like it just expands and then it goes back into a point?
Yeah, but imagine it like time lapsed, like at a crazy speed. So you just watch it boom, 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 boom. So then like our whole lives happen in like not even a frame. Our whole like civilization happens in like not even a frame. So I wonder how they would escape. Like they would have to
Another dimension
rapidly
or
like
something.
yeah, maybe.
A dimension we can't fathom.
Fathom. Fucking A.
Fat dome.
Take mushrooms, kids.
Hey, don't do drugs.
That's also true. Unless you want to and they're free.
And there's no cops around.
That's also true.
What else do you want to talk about? Getting naked?
Yeah, I got a weird rash on my butthole. It's leaking.
Alright, we're going to take a look at it, folks.
Fuck.
How was your lunch with your grandpa and his wife?
Yeah, it was dinner, but yeah, it was pretty good. We went to like some like Sevens in Clear Lake. It was pretty good. He's just talking about giving Marty shit, and I was talking about how they're behind because of you, and he's like, I haven't even been there. What are they talking about? Yeah, whatever.
I mean, it is not his fault directly,
No.
but because he left, we're
No,
so far
I
behind.
think he's done his fair share. I think they're
definitely
just
has.
caught off guard because he's been doing that for so long.
Mm-hmm. But how can you be caught off guard because he's been planning for years to
Yeah.
retire?
I don't know.
He told me he's been planning this for years, and he just decided not to each year before that.
And I think our supervisor Marty is retiring this year too, so it'd be interesting to see if it really goes to shit.
Really?
Yeah, like this summer he said he's got to get a new battery for his pacemaker. He's gonna make the Bago insurance pay for it, and then he's out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So then someone's got to take his spot. I guarantee you, your area is still fucked and behind by that time, because I don't see an end in sight unless they hire like 1 or 2 more people.
They're gonna make you the supervisor.
Yeah, fuck no.
Jeff was telling me that at one point Steve had 2 people following him around that were supposed to take over for him when he left.
Yeah,
Like,
he did.
something happened to those 2 people.
He kept telling Marty, he's like, these people are stupid. he would tell me that too. He's like, I'm training people and they're not too bright.
I don't think there's many kids like us anymore. We're a dying breed.
It's weird. Hopefully not. I have hope that there is.
I think there is, because I don't think we would have found each other.
I also don't think we're like the pinnacle of people either. I just like, we work hard and we have good like values, you know.
Mm-hmm. And we like to teach ourselves and educate ourselves and improve.
Yeah, and like advanced learning beyond like school. Not saying like it's better than e-school per se, just to not piss anybody off. But learning outside of it, you know. A lot of people go to school and they just learn for that school. We're learning outside of it.
I think the way to explain it is, I read a book called How Successful People See the World, and it talked about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, and how most people are born with a fixed mindset, and we're taught that by society to have a fixed mindset.
Yeah,
that
like
we
go to college, get a job after college.
Well, not just that, but we're born a certain way, and we can't change this at all, and there's no way to develop that. But a growth mindset sees every good thing and bad thing as a
every situation
opportunity of growth. Yes.
Fuck yeah. Yeah,
I don't think that that mindset's cultivated anymore.
Yeah, obviously. I feel like I'm in it. Moved from fucking 2 shit jobs because of one situation my dad brought up. Got down here, got this gnarly place, all that shit, just from like an opportunity that I saw and was growing into it. And that's not to diss on people that do have a fixed mindset. It's like,
I think there's a way out of it, because I used to have a fixed mindset.
It's not their fault that they have it. It was like a thing that's been instilled in them since they were a child, since they could listen. And then it's also like most people have that. And I mean, I'm sure we have it a little bit. Because I mean, we still go to Bago every day, so clearly we're not like hustling. I mean, we're like trying, but
maybe it's like a flexible ego. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
True.
Because the ego is what makes us...
You can see beyond it a little bit or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah. These pods just turn into me and you agreeing with each other most of the time.
I don't agree with anything you say.
That's true, fuck you. I actually don't like you. I'm racist.
I don't like blackies.
Who lets you out? What are you doing out?
Get in the kennel.
Craggy.
There was something else that I was going to talk about, but it's gone now.
We are only at like 18 minutes. We could maybe pick this up in the car after the gym or something if you want.
It's up to you.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Alright. You know, we were talking about how Eric Weinstein was talking about how we could warp time and stuff.
Yeah. How it doesn't make sense that time starts from one point but then it's opposite in the other direction.
Yeah, so an object moving through time or space faster makes time go slower, right? Like when you're running and when you're driving.
Like anything over the speed of light messes with shit.
Just when you're running, right? Time feels like it's going slower, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then when you're in the car, it goes slower as well. Slower than if you were walking, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think that counts as time travel? And do you think that with like a vehicle that could go light speed, we could travel and bend space-time? You think we're slowly bending space-time as we're like, even if we're just running or like driving or in a plane?
What do you define time as, and what do you define distance as?
Well, time is just a measurement of
how long something takes?
Yeah, but it's in our minds.
Yeah, it's really hard to measure. It doesn't really exist. We just put numbers on it, right? Like, we rotate around the sun, but the sun has no idea what fucking time it is, if it's Tuesday, what.
Exactly.
But then distance also, like, traveling in a car, you're saying, is like time traveling. If you were to ask someone that was in, like, the pioneer days that was taking a wagon to fucking Oregon, you know, telling them that we could get there in, like, you know, a day by car, that would be time travel to them.
Yes. So maybe time travel isn't necessarily something spectacular. It's just we can't fathom it.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a perspective thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have it yet.
Exactly. Any grand ideas? Or should I keep going?
Just pennies. Keep going.
All right.
We're in the parking lot of a Planet Fitness right now.
Yeah, we just got done beating our dicks inside and got kicked
Yeah.
out. So, what do you think about people living a mostly sedentary lifestyle? Because, like, we know damn well comfort makes us comfortable for a little bit.
Comfort kills, bro.
Well, yeah, it does kill, but it makes us comfortable, but only for so long until we get uncomfortable mentally. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
You gotta do hard shit. People that are into like short-term dopamine, like you always go out to parties, you're always high, you're always like doing shit immediately to get the immediate satisfaction, are not happy because they're not doing any long-term, like, you gotta do hard shit to appreciate the easy shit, you know? Like, we work hard, and then on the weekends we get, you know, a little sauced up.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've never done that, but
yeah, it's true.
allegedly. Allegedly.
These are all claims, CNN, fake news.
It's all fake news.
It's all fake news.
Brought in by the government.
How do you even... Does anybody watch the media anymore?
I think old people do.
I think I saw a poll that, like... It was a disturbing poll that said 26% of Americans still trust mainstream media, which is, like...
That's still a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah, that's a quarter of everybody is watching, like, Fox and CNN and taking that at face value.
I think it was Ryan Long on the pod was saying that his parents or something still watched CNN and Fox News, and they're like, the news can't even agree with each other.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ, obviously not. Open your fucking eyes. I think the new thing, which is kind of bad for journalism and reporters because they probably can't make as much money, is just independent. Like, you drop a story on your own, if it deserves traction and it blows up, it was meant to be. But, like, what sucks about that is you're going to have, like, 15 minutes of fame, and then if you don't drop another, like, juicy story, and once you get that initial hit of a juicy story that was actually deserved, you're going to want to do that juicy story again, even though it might not be deserved. You know,
not only
like
will you want to, you're going to have to keep people's interest, because our interest is like, everybody has ADHD now because of phones. Our attention spans are so short.
Yeah, ADHD is like doing all the side quests instead of the main mission.
That's true. And it's hard to fucking focus back on the main mission.
Yeah, just constantly doing side quests.
And there's this guy I listened to that, I don't know how, he was a doctor for sure, but I don't know how solid his claims are, but he was saying that we don't really have an immune system, but everything our body does is natural. Like, it's not an immune system, it's just our body reacting to something. Like, you get a splinter and you might get an infection, yeah, but then you get pus to push that splinter out, right?
Yeah.
And like, if you get a cut, your body glosses over it and heals itself.
And that's not the immune system?
That's what he was trying to say. I listened to it one time and I don't know where the fuck it went, so.
It's all like what people define different words as nowadays. Like, do you know what he defined that as? Just like the body's response? Because that is what the immune system does. It's like a response to...
I think he was just saying that it's not a legit system. Like, we have a nervous system.
Oh, like it's not a defined, like, these are where that is.
Yes.
It's just like,
Our
we
body
send white
reacting.
blood cell, we sell like blood to clot a cut, or like we send bacteria to stop like an infection or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
You think it holds water?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's his definition. I would still call it an immune system. Like, why fuck with something that's not broken?
That's true.
You know?
So do you think that everything our body does is supposed to do that, and us throwing antibiotics and stuff in there, because we're just bacteria and cells and a bunch of tiny shit thrown together? Do you think it fucks with, like, we talked about pills, you take one serotonin receptor pill and it fucks with your whole body? You think that's how antibiotics and shit are?
Yeah, probably. Probiotics are good, but that just kind of adds good bacteria. It doesn't necessarily like take away bacteria. Yeah, my mom's a pharmacist, and she would say, well, medicine is poison, pretty much. It's just like the exact right medicine at the exact right dosage that actually helps people. Otherwise, it's mostly poison.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. She's a pharmacist. She's got like 8 years worth of college behind her, so I kind of trust her opinion.
I don't believe anybody. I'm just
It's
kidding.
true. Fake news. She's a government agent.
She works for Dr. Biden.
Yeah, she's gang stalking me at night.
You think Biden's gonna run again?
I don't give a fuck, man. Does it even matter? Was everything that the president was gonna do gonna happen regardless of who the president is?
No. It doesn't ever happen.
Yeah. I don't know. It's dumb. Big popularity contest to see who's the mommy or daddy, mainly daddy, for the next 4 to 8 years, I guess, to quote unquote run the government. But I think it was one of the presidents that got whatever. He got, his term was over. He didn't get like set up or anything, but he said like becoming president puts you like at the 50% mark of the government. Like there's a whole other 50%.
The machine.
Of like, yeah, like the, you know, people that probably work at like weird sites like Area 51 or like CIA like spies and whatnot.
Generals and shit like that.
Like your Secret Service and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that, how do you think we fix this then? You think there is a way to fix it, or you think it all has to collapse?
I don't know, it's really hard, because when you try and fix one issue, you realize there's like a bunch of other issues tied into it. Because like if you try and fix, okay, let's do like police. So like you're trying to fix the policing system. A reason why that doesn't happen a lot is because the prison industrial complex is like a big money maker for a lot of people. So they would like to put more people in jail to get more like free labor, more or less.
Like Kamala.
Yeah, so if you try and like reduce that, then you realize, oh shit, we gotta knock out a whole like machine, more or less. And then you have like systematic issues, areas of like concern where there's like more racism and shit like that, more profiling and shit. And this is like the same for a lot of issues in the government, like money and politics. You can take that out, but then like not a lot of people are going to want to be politicians, which might be the good thing, honestly. You probably shouldn't want to be a politician. You should probably just be like the best candidate for it, and you have to do this. Also, I think, you know what I think? We'd get a lot better presidents if when you became president, you had to die at the end of your term. You either got reelected or we fucking behead you. Like, you become president, you got to be good, otherwise we're either killing you early, and at the end you're going to die anyway, so do what you want. You know?
They can't share information or something?
It doesn't matter. They got to go balls to the walls for the next 4 years because they're going to fucking die after it. If you're going to be top head honcho, that much power cannot be sticking around, so we got to fucking cut the head off the snake.
A lot of people use it to gain more money and more power afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, like if you look up you look up like a politician's salary, like Obama made, I think the president's salary when Obama was around was like 200, 250, maybe 300 grand, and he's worth like millions and millions of dollars, like way more than he made.
That's
as
crazy.
A president. Yeah.
I found out Hillary had her own fucking podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
You listen to it?
Oh yeah, I'm an avid listener. Hillary has like, that family is weird. They have a lot of employees that go and suicide themselves for some reason. Real weird.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, a bunch of the people that are associated with Hillary and Bill are fucking dead. There was one guy that like exposed a bunch of that Epstein shit, and he was found like, I think Rogie has talked about this on the podcast. He was found like 30 miles or something away from his house, hung to a tree with an extension cord with a shotgun blast in his chest.
Oh yeah.
No clothes. There were signs that he was like struggling, like crawling, and there's like marks. There's also a fence in between the tree and his house. And the shotgun wound, he was bleeding before the fence, so he had like a very bad wound before the fence, and it's like 6-8 foot tall like fence, you know. So how the fuck did he get over that to go and then hang himself on the tree? And then there was another bullet in his head. So how'd you shoot yourself? Once in the chest with a shotgun, hung yourself, and then shot yourself in the head? It seems like
it was ruled as suicide, wasn't it?
Yeah, like immediately.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like Epstein.
Yeah, man. Well, no, let's not get too political. That was a suicide. Epstein did kill himself.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I threw off.
For some reason, I was going to agree with you. But I was like, wait, he's joking. So, when Eric Weinstein was talking about, I don't know if you remember him talking about how like a cup is like a certain radius, but it expands out somehow, but it's still the same amount of radius. And he's talking about how you can shrink objects and expand them. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, like put the stadium inside of the tennis ball.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You'd think that's what if there was extraterrestrials out there, you think that's what they're doing? They just shrink themselves down when they come and visit us, so these UFOs and shit we're seeing are not actually them.
Maybe. You ever thought if we can ever like measure to a small enough scale? Like we found quarks, right? So we went inside the atom, found the quark, and if we keep like measuring like what's inside a quark, what's inside that, we eventually find like a universe, and that universe has like planets in it.
I've thought about
And it's
that.
all like your cells, like the universe shrinks all down into like every form.
That'd be
And
wild.
goes cell, yeah. So maybe
That could be a possibility. I thought you were going to talk about us manipulating things at that small of a level to where like we have nanotechnology and stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, who made it like that? Who made the universe? God doesn't know where God came from.
That's
So who
true.
manipulated that?
We don't know where anything came from.
My groceries come from Hy-Vee. I know that for a
That's
goddamn
all that
fact.
matters.
It's my God-given right, goddammit. It's God's country like God intended. What are you doing out?
Get back in the
I threw up.
I threw off. What's up, folk? How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are having a good whatever it is.
Show me your balls right now.
Show them. Alright, so I was going to add on to the, this is day 2, by the way, of recording this podcast. I was going to add on to the dream thing about how, like, I could make 3 decisions in a lucid dream before, like, waking up, when the 3 decisions took me, like, 6 hours in our time, but in the dream world, it was instantaneous. I was thinking, like, what if that's how it is for us in reality, and on, like, a cosmic scale, it's taking way more time, or something like that, like, the actions in life, the decisions we make, take, you know, a normal amount of time. But if we apply the laws of like what I was saying about the dream world, and instead of being in a dream, we say this is a dream, then the reality that's like next or whatever above this, we'd be doing all this shit and it would be passing a lot of time. Or maybe it's passing a little time.
So
And who's to say the dream world isn't the one above this, too?
that, and immediately that came to my mind is maybe that's why it took so long or not took so long, but it takes so long for culture to shift. Because maybe we're all one being living separate lives, and each decision seems separate, but it takes a long time for the collective to get the ideas we
connected.
need. Yeah.
Like a universal consciousness would be... I really fuck with that idea because I feel like we could definitely find peace, but I'm not sure if that's really how it works, to be honest. So then if you think that's universal consciousness, is everything that's conscious the same consciousness as us?
I think so. Well, the way I look at it, there's a cloud.
It's just a consciousness experiencing every form of life on the planet?
That's the way I look at it. It's like the way people say, or gurus and shamans and stuff say everything's God. Like, that building is just a different experience. It's conscious, but not on the level of our consciousness.
Yeah.
The same with a bird or a dog.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like everything has a degree of awareness of some sort.
Yeah,
Well, that is
because
true, because there's that law when, like, you observe something, it changes it.
that's what I was about to say, quantum physics.
Yeah, so that has to be applicable to everything. Huh. Fucking A. Oh, and then I was going to add on to the decisions we make now taking longer time in those realities. I was thinking back to the time travel thing where, like, if we told someone, like, in the 1800s or whenever, that we could drive to Oregon in, like, a day or something, however long it takes, that's time travel to them. Well, maybe us making decisions is like time travel to whatever else is there.
To like an animal or another consciousness.
Another consciousness, or like maybe, you know, like
higher
the
being.
universal consciousness. Like, we might be one universal being, you know, one universal consciousness, and the decisions, like the day-to-day, feels like it's 24 hours, 24/7, 365, but in reality it's like a snap of the finger, like it's instantaneous for this consciousness to experience it, because it moves on like a different scale than we move on.
No time.
Like, it doesn't rotate around the sun like we rotate around the sun.
We perceive everything by time. Well,
Or
I
around the sun.
either read or heard in a podcast one time that, you know how bunnies and most animals have multiple babies? I read or heard that they do that so that they can adapt and continue to survive, and it takes multiple generations. But with us, we let our ideas die rather than killing off a bunch of different generations of us.
So we're stagnating, you're saying?
I don't know.
Like our ideas are dying, we're stagnating.
Just by what you were saying that us thinking is time travel. It kind of is, to be honest, because we can project ourselves in the future and the past.
You can zone in on something and a bunch of time will pass. You'll be having fun and a bunch of time will pass.
That's true. I didn't think about it like that. Well, Aubrey Marcus talks about how he looks at it as like we're a player in a game, and like our physical form is the player, and then we have a jersey with our name and our team on it, and that's how he looks at life.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, but we also got to look at it as we all play for, like, say that's like the NFL he's saying or something. We all play for human. We gotta start identifying as human first, and every other like group of thing next.
That's just
otherwise we're never gonna get along or be equal.
True.
We're all human.
The rest of the shit is just like the padding and shit we put on.
Yeah, it's just like I'm this, I'm that. It's dumb shit.
Like you're black, I'm white.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So with GPT, I can't fucking say it.
It's alright.
And there's this, like, what's that one, like, Wave 5 or some shit?
Unreal 5?
Unreal 5, exactly.
That's like a gaming engine. That's not like an AI.
Yeah, but the way it animates, like, streets and stuff, it's pretty fascinating. And it makes me think that we're getting closer and closer to the metaverse, like, every day. Like, the Matrix, like you showed us. It kind of is getting to that point.
Yeah, this guy hadn't seen Matrix. He hadn't seen The Matrix. He has yet to watch that movie. And then we fucking watched all 4 of them on fucking, what was it, Saturday night or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, also there's 4 of them instead of 3 of them, which is fucking bullshit. The 4th one is ass.
I didn't have enough
Don't
privilege
watch the
before.
4th one. Fucking boycott the 4th one. Fuck out of here with
So
that
you
shit.
think that's a real possibility that they're going to start using us as just human batteries? Because that's basically what jail is in prison. They just use us as human labor and batteries, basically. It's just they can't directly extract the energy from it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think our nervous system is like less than a volt or something is what it takes to like run our nervous system. So like it'd be like a pretty dog ass battery, I think.
I mean,
Well, actually,
with 7
a 9 volt
billion,
battery is like that big. Fucking 9
7
people.
billion of them.
7 billion volt battery. It's 8 billion now. Population's
Oh
up
yeah,
to 8
that's
billion.
right. I think it's more than that, to be honest. I don't
Probably.
think we can keep track. I just shit myself.
All you did.
So do you think that if every single human on this planet was put into a chamber where it could extract the energy, and then we were just put into the metaverse or some different type of artificial reality, you think that would be a possibility?
Run that by me again.
So, like, say we get Neuralink in our head, and then we're put into a chamber, like they're already trying to grow things outside of the womb and stuff, and then they put every single human on the planet into a chamber. They could extract our energy. Maybe it's not that much for one human, but you see, you get
maybe,
20.
but that also doesn't have to be the goal. Like there could be a bunch of uses for it. It doesn't have to be to use us as batteries. They could easily, like, if we're talking like you go Terminator route where they just wipe us all out, basically, something like that. Like, and also, what if like the reason these forms of like higher life are here is because we were put into like a colony of some sort and injected like into this planet, and then we've been growing and learning and shit. Like, if say there's like a human colony that moves around the cosmos and it plants little human seeds on every planet that humans can live on, maybe that's what that would be, or like maybe that's what the AI did or something.
Well, I was reading Reddit comments, so
That's great.
top tier fucking information.
You gotta trust what they're saying.
But there was this one comment that kind of fucking stuck with me. It was talking about how, like, the idea of panspermia, like something comes here from an asteroid and hits the Earth, and mushrooms were like the first species to colonize the planet, and then we divided from mushrooms. Animals and plants came from mushrooms, or at least that's the way I think about it. So the comment was talking about how we get to such an advanced level that we put ourselves into these tiny little spores, and then we just go on to like an asteroid or something and repopulate that way.
That's weird. Why would we do that? We would have to do that for a reason. Maybe we figured out what consciousness actually is, and we were like, oh shit, we are a universal thing. So in order to be more universal, we got to spread the fuck out.
Well,
but like, if that's not the reason? What do you think the reason would be?
Now that you asked that question, I mean, the only reason I can think of right now is that I don't think there was enough oxygen to sustain life on this planet when it first started. So if a mushroom starts growing and can survive in extreme heat, extreme cold in the vacuum of space, then it starts diverting itself into plants and starts turning the CO2 or whatever chemical, exactly, and then it can start growing another life.
Fuck, I'm not high enough for this goddamn conversation we're having right now. It's weird. Existing is weird. I think if it read some stat online, probably trust it. But it was like if Earth took like 2% longer to develop, like from like once the moon hit us and all that shit, if it took 2% longer for life to develop, we wouldn't be here at all. Which makes sense because it's been here for billions of years and we've only been here for thousands.
I like to watch a lot of videos like that. It's just like if anything was different, it's the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
If anything changed, even if like say life was here, if one of our ancestors got killed millions and millions of years ago, we wouldn't exist right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
We fucked on those Neanderthals. Get fucked. Skill issue.
There was this guy I listened to, I think it was a transgender, but it was a guy that knew he was transgender mentally but didn't try to change his physical body because he knows it's not a possibility. But he was talking about how like he thinks that so you know how like the full moons and shit, those fucking like myths or superstitions and stuff, that full moons change the way we act and stuff.
Oh, like old werewolf tales and shit like that?
Well, like female, or not females in general, but like humans get crazier on full moons and shit like that.
Okay, I see where you're going.
But like he was talking about how like all of the planets.
I fucking rolled it down earlier, cracker.
Hey man, I'm black. He was talking about how all the planets in our solar system affect the way we are, like their gravity. Mm-hmm. Like, you think that makes sense? Like the sun is such a strong force of gravity. If we had a smaller star, maybe we'd be different.
Yeah, like if you move any of the planets that are in the solar system, I think like a bunch of the planets, if not all of them, their orbit gets like really shifted. Like move Jupiter. I think every orbit gets real fucked up if you like move Jupiter forward or backwards in relativity to like the distance of the sun.
Jupiter's got a big storm on it.
That baby thick.
She is a thick boy.
That's a good planet right there.
Do you think that we should be focusing on traveling to other planets in our solar system first, or do you think we should try to get out of the solar system first?
We gotta get the fuck out of here, dude.
That's what I think.
We gotta get the fuck out of here. We know Mars exists. We gotta find some shit that, like, we're not gonna colonize Mars, I don't think, or like terraform it in the time where we're still gonna be like around to have like the collective like agreement to do it.
And if we could leave the solar system, we really wouldn't need to, because we found plenty of Earth-like planets that might sustain life.
Yeah. This is why I hope Eric Weinstein's right when he says, like, there's a divide by zero error on, like, the laws we base ourselves on, but once they discover the neuron, or the neutron, or whatever it was, fuck, I sound like an idiot.
The quark?
No, because remember Einstein or whoever it was found the neutron, and then that like kind of shifted how all the technology worked, and kind of fucked a lot of shit up, and nobody's discovered like a newer thing than that. And then we haven't moved forward. Fuck, I kind of forgot where I was going with this. Oh, when he says like divide by zero, there's an error. I hope the next thing that gets discovered fixes that error, because he says like all these ancient places and all that, they had something else figured out in order to do all this shit. So maybe they figured out the divide by seven. I'm fucked. Retarded, dude. Divide by zero error. And they, like, there was a different law that they followed that wasn't like E equals MC squared or something like that.
Well, there'd have to be.
And it would allow them to, like, build those crazy shit, like pyramids and the Sphinx and Göbekli Tepe and all that shit.
Well, by what he was saying, we
Maybe it
haven't
would
changed
allow us
physics
to,
in
like-
so long.
Maybe it would allow us to do like cosmic travel of some sort, go faster than the speed of light, or like bend time and space, like he was saying.
Even if we had the ability to harness the power of the sun directly rather than taking it out of fossil fuels or solar panels or wind.
Oh, like a Dyson sphere or something.
Exactly, yeah. Like, even if we could do that, we
They've
would have
seen
such
stars
a...
disappear.
You think that they're wrapping them in Dyson spheres? Or do you think that they
What
can...
do you think they're doing to them?
Either that, or maybe they have a
Something
way
really
of...
fucking big passing in front of them because it's still going in front of them.
Well, maybe they can harness with a Dyson sphere, but maybe if Eric Weinstein's right about shrinking stuff down with space-time, maybe they just shrink the sun down and shove it into like a
Put
compartment.
in a little like tennis ball sized Dyson sphere.
Yeah, and then put in like...
Put that in the engine. Fucking call it good.
Exactly.
Fucking A.
That'd be crazy.
Oh shit, you're blowing my mind right now.
I never thought about that before. Now.
Shit.
But that would be a crazy possibility, because if we can harness the power of the sun or the black holes or something,
I love black holes.
we could destroy anything with a black hole. I got a black hole
Destroys my penis
on my ass.
every time. Get the fuck out of here. Don't expose me like this.
Should we end it here?
Yeah, probably. I think a 45-minute something podcast is fine.
It's going to be a little over 45.
That's good.
I did some math earlier.
Okay. Alright, folks. Alright. Get the book Chaos if you can.
Go to the gym.
Go to Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness fucking sucks. Alright. Deuces.